from Newmar. We just finished all of our warranty and retail work after almost 3 weeks, and in this video I'm going to talk about our experience. So you're probably wondering why we've been here for 3 weeks. Well, our initial appointment had us here for 4 to 5 days, so we only planned for a week. But as we stayed here and we noticed other things on the coach that needed to be fixed, we were adding that to our appointment, and so that extended our stay for 2 more weeks than we originally planned. And part of the reason it's taken so long is because we had 2 appointments where we had to get paint work done on the coach. Having paint work done and also the windshield replacement left us out of the coach for 2 days. If you'd like to read more about our windshield replacement experience, I'll have Joe link to that on our website. When we initially made our appointment, we called in April and they were booked out over almost 2 months, so we didn't get an appointment until about the last week of May. The way appointments work with Newmar is if you want to get work done here, you have to call their customer service number, make an appointment. Depending on how busy they are, they can be booked out 2-3 months out. So if you know you need work done, I would call right away and get something scheduled. Once our appointment was finalized, a few weeks before our arrival, we were sent an email with a packet with information about where to park when we get here and what to expect. So Newmar has 2 campgrounds on site. One is a full hookup campground, and there are 23 sites here. A few of them are pull-through. There's also an overflow campground, and that's partial hookup, so it's electric and water. And depending on the time of year, the water may or may not be turned on. Since our appointment was on Monday, we arrived at Newmar on Friday afternoon to get a spot. Luckily, when we got here, there were a few spots open, and we knew the spot was open because there wasn't an orange cone in the spot. If you see an orange cone, it means that spot is taken, and the RV could be in the shop or it could be somewhere else. Fortunately, we were able to get a full hookup site in the main campground, and the office was still open, so we were able to go in, check in with the office with Jeannie, and she was able to write down our campsite and know that we were here. Jeannie is the main contact in the service lobby. She is a wealth of knowledge and super helpful. So during your time here, if you have a question, she can help direct you and figure out who you need to call or where you need to go for specific things. And the way service works at Newmar is your first day of service, the technician will come usually at 6 a.m. or 6:30 to your coach and go through all the work that you want done and anything else additional that you may want added to that list. Our techs were here at 6 a.m. sharp. That morning we went through everything, and once they've written down all the problems that we needed fixed, they took the coach and worked on it for the day. We get the coach back about 1:30 to 2 o'clock depending on what they were working on that day. But if you come here and get work done, expect to wake up really early. There is a really nice waiting room. There are actually 2 waiting rooms. The main waiting room is right next to the main campground, and there's also a service lobby by building 11, and that's pet friendly. The nice thing about service here is if we forget something in our coach or if we need a change of clothes, we can actually go to where our coach is being worked on, go to the building, walk in, and grab our stuff. The other nice thing is you can pick up stuff from the parts store, and Joe, who works in the parts store, is so helpful. Whatever you may need, he can tell you exactly which one is for your coach and what to get and how to use it. So that's really valuable as well, and we might pick up some stuff before we leave. One thing we were able to take advantage of when we were here is the Newmar factory tour. So they have tours Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Photography is not allowed on the tour, so we weren't able to take pictures, but we really enjoyed the tour. And the really cool thing to learn is the King Air, the Bay Star, they all go down the same assembly line and they're worked on by the same exact people. The country club is also here, and the corporate office. Now, one thing you have to do when you're at Newmar is go down to Rise and Roll. They have a bakery in Napanee, and it's about 2 miles from here, and they make this thing called Amish crack. It's a cinnamon donut that is delicious. Joe and I are addicted to their apple fritters, and I'm not gonna say how many times we've been there, but let's just say it's probably more than we should. So if you're here, even if you're dropping your coach off to get work done, swing by Rise and Roll and grab an apple fritter or a cinnamon donut. It is absolutely delicious. Now let's talk about some of the negatives of getting work done at Newmar. The early wake-up calls are really rough. Having to wake up before 6 a.m. so we can put our coach away and have it ready to be taken away will really get to you after a while, and 2.5 weeks later, not so great nights of sleep. We're pretty grumpy and we're ready to get out of here so we can sleep in and not listen to an alarm go off. All the gravel that's around here, it's rough on Leo's paws, but also there's a lot of dust. So come 1:30, 2 o'clock when all the coaches are being returned back to their sites, there's just dust blowing all over the place. There's also cottonwood trees right across from the main campground, and during June, all the cottonwood seeds are flying everywhere, and my allergies have not been this bad since we were in Cherokee, North Carolina. There are trains that go by here constantly all throughout the day and the middle of the night, and they're blowing their horns for a really long time. So as wonderful as it is to be able to get work done at the factory by factory service technicians, there are some not so pleasant parts to being here. And the other thing is, you kind of get addicted to Amish crack, and that is not a good thing. We did learn quite a few things while we're here that I want to pass along because I think it's interesting information for everyone to have. So Newmar has 2 seasons for labor rates. The main season is from April to December, and they charge currently $118 an hour for labor. During the off season from January to March, it's $95. So depending on your flexibility in getting work done, you can save a little bit of money by having work done during off season. The other thing we learned is when you arrive for your service appointment, make sure to have a list of everything that you want done. There could be some miscommunication. A few things might not make it to the service text list. So just make sure you have your own list to reference and that they don't miss anything while you're here. I think the most important thing we learned from being here for 2.5 weeks and talking to fellow Newmar owners is if we order another Newmar, we would definitely do factory pickup. You get to live out of the coach at their campground. They give you a really extensive walkthrough of how everything works, and if things need to get fixed, they get fixed on site, and most likely they have the part that you need, as opposed to being at a dealer and Newmar having to overnight them parts for repair or replacement. So I know that if we buy Newmar again, we're definitely going to go for the factory pickup instead of buying it at the dealer and having the dealer do the walkthrough. Hopefully you got some really good information out of this video and what to expect if you come to Newmar for a service appointment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.